Hello beaders, it's Jerry. Welcome back to Beachside Bead Boutique. And if you are new here, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. On this channel, I do jewelry DIYs, bead unboxing videos, and bead hauls. And today we are going to be making 5 fabulous fall bracelets. Now, I love fall. It is my favorite time of the year. I love the fall colors. I love the cool, crisp air. I love the smell of the fall, and I love Halloween. But I live in Florida, so there is really no fall here, and I do miss it. But we are going to be celebrating fall by making 5 bracelets, like I said. And stick around because you won't want to miss making any of these. So the basic items that you're going to need are your tools. So you will need round nose pliers. I have bent nose pliers, and you can use whatever pliers you want to be able to open and close jump rings and put on charms and stuff like that. And then I do have some flush cutters. And then also I do have a pair of scissors. And as you can see, I have my bead board, and then I'm going to use the 17 centimeters, which is a little roughly, what, 7 inches, 7.5 inches, something like that. And then I have a stretch cord, so I'm going to use this for the first bracelet. So it's 0.8 millimeter. And then I'm going to use these beads. I got these beads from Hobby Lobby, and they are really pretty crackle glass beads. So I'm going to use this for the first bracelet. I'm going to use these red and orange, because I think that would be beautiful for fall. And then you will need some jump rings. And then also for the first bracelet, I'm going to use, I know one of these charms. So we just have some fall pumpkins. And then I got these charms from Beadbox Bargains. And I do have a video, the Beadbox Bargains haul. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. And then also I have a bead stopper. Okay, first I'm going to take a piece of stretch cord. And you want to cut a nice length of piece that's bigger than what you need, because you want it to be long enough to be able to tie your knot, and you don't want it to be, too short to where you're struggling having to do that. So it's always better to have more. Okay, and then you want to pre-stretch your cord. So just take your cord in both hands and just slightly give it a good stretch. And pre-stretching your cord will help ensure longevity of your bracelet, because as you put beads on your cord, then the bracelet will start to sag over time and potentially break. So when you're pre-stretching, that will help alleviate that pre-sagging and early breakage of your cord. Okay, so this is all you have to do. Just give it a nice little stretch. And then I'm going to take a bead stopper and put it on one side. Just like that. Okay, and we can set this to the side for now. And then let's go ahead and get our beads. And like I said, I'm going to use these red and orange ones. But look at these colors. Isn't that so pretty? So pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to take my beads and place them on my bead board right around the 17 centimeter circle. Actually, let me see. I have these gold balls that I had previously got from Hobby Lobby. Maybe I will insert a gold ball in between each bead. Let's see how this looks. I think this will look pretty, actually. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm adding the beads and then putting a gold ball in between. Okay, I have the first bracelet ready to be strung. So I put one of the crackle glass beads and then the gold bead in between each one, except for here. See, I put 2 of the gold beads, and that's because I'm going to put the charm in between those beads. And then I think this is the charm that I'm going to use for the first one. I think that would look really nice. You get 4 of these charms. Again, check out that video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my jump ring prepared. I would love to have you as part of the Beaders family. If you're feeling generous, please subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Now we just have to string our bracelet. Okay, I went and got me a piece of beading wire that I folded in half that I'm going to use as a little needle, because these little beads are hard for me to put on. So if you don't need to do that, then that's fine. String your beads by all means. All right, we ended with the gold. It's hard for me to even see the whole period. Okay, so now here is where I'm going to put my 2 gold beads. Actually, check it first before you continue. Put your bracelet around the diameter of the size you want to make sure. You could also try it around your wrist. Sure, yeah, I could go a little bit more. Oh, actually, hold on. take this off and then take your charm and feed your cord through the jump ring. And then go ahead and put on your other gold bead. And then one more your glass bead. And your last gold bead. Okay, so before you tie, go ahead and make sure that it is going to be the right size. Try it around your wrist. Oh, that's pretty. I think that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and tie this. So you're just going to take it under, if I can get it, tie it. Once, pull the cord pretty good, but not too tight. And then you're going to take it under twice. Pull your cord. And I'm going to go one more time. Pull it. I like to kind of hold that knot and pull it on either side. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit of my glue, and this is brush on glue. I'm going to slide that open and put the glue right on the knot. And then we can cut our cord. I'm going to cut it close, but not too close. Don't cut your bracelet. You'll be mad at yourself. Okay, so we made our first fall bracelet. It is so pretty. I mean, these beads just look fabulous. Oh, that is so pretty. I really like this. Actually, I think it would look nice with another bracelet. Let's see. What if we use the green? Or should we just use this? Yeah. Okay, let's make another bracelet in this color to go with this. And I'm not going to use a charm on this. And actually, I don't think I'm even going to use the gold beads in between. I'm just going to use these beads, and we're going to make a stack. Okay? Putting on my bead stopper. Okay, and I'm actually not even going to put the beads on my beadboard this time. I'm just going to go ahead and string them, and then I'll measure it to the beadboard once I'm close to being done. Okay. So with this one, I actually used up all but one bead. That's because, see, this one we have the gold in between, which this one we didn't. So I practically used up all the beads here. Another one left to make a pair of earrings. But this is probably going to be too long, so I am going to take one off. So there's my earrings. And I think I'm going to take off one more. Okay, so this is what we have. And for reference, I have 24 beads on this one. Okay, so this is just solid 24 beads. And then this one I have 16 of the red and orange beads and 17 of the gold beads. Remember, there's 2 I used for the center. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and tie this bracelet up. So I'm just going to do it just like I did the first one. Pull it under once. Oops. Pull it under once. Pull your cord. And then pull it under twice. Pull your cord nice and tight. And then one more time. Nice and tight. Make sure you can still move it. Okay. Now I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to spread my knot and put the glue right on the knot. And then I'm going to cut my cords. Okay, so here is our second bracelet. It's very pretty and very fallish with its beautiful golden tones. So shimmery and pretty. Isn't that beautiful? I might have to make this jump ring. I actually might have to put this on a bigger jump ring, I think. But so pretty. Very fallish. I really love it. Okay, so stay tuned for the next one. Okay, so I'm changing out the jump ring. I took that one off. I'm going to go ahead and put this bigger one on and try that. Okay, I'm just going to take it to where I have my 2 gold beads and spread that apart, and then stick my jump ring underneath the wire and close that up. Okay, and I think that's better. Now the jump ring, since it's bigger, it'll fit over these 2 beads, but that's okay because it's not going anywhere else. So that's fine. But I think it is so pretty. I love these colors. Love it. So here is our first bracelet set. I think it is so pretty. I love the fall colors. Okay, so stay tuned for the next bracelet. Okay, so now we are going to make our second fall bracelet, and I'm going to use the beads from Bargain Bead Box, and this was from September Sweater Weather. So the beads that I'm going to use for the next bracelet are these glass barrel spacer beads. I'm going to use some of those, and then also mahogany obsidian round beads I'm going to use. So that's these. And then also I'm going to use one of the glass flower beads. So that's what this is. And then I'm going to use some of this glass bead mix. So that's in here too. And then also some of these brown agate dyed beads, and these are 6mm. Also, you will need your toggle clasp, and this is from Bargain Bead Box, Sweater Weather, and then you will need 2 clamshell closures and 2 crimp tubes. And also your beading wire, and this is what I'm using. It's Cousin DIY 0.3mm. Okay. So let's go ahead by taking your beading wire, and this one is all curled up because from being on the roll, so, but that's okay, it'll still work. All right, you're going to double your beading wire, so take a nice size strand. You always want to have more than what you need because it's better than having less than. Okay, so I'm going to cut my wire at about 14 inches. So I'm doubling it and cutting it at 14 inches. And then you could go ahead and cut the other side too. So you can just cut it in half so you have 2 separate pieces. And then also you will need a bead stopper. So I'm going to go ahead and put both of my pieces on my bead stopper on one end. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of these on. And I'm putting them on both cords. Okay, so both of your cords are going through the hole right now. And then I'm going to take 2 of my red barrel beads and string it through both holes. I mean both cords through the hole. So 2 of these. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to separate my wires and put these 4mm mahogany beads. I'm going to put, I think, probably 5 on each one, on each cord. So let me go ahead and string 5 and see how that looks. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put 5 on the other side. So see on this cord here. Okay, so we have 5 of those on each side. And then I'm going to go ahead and take another red one. I cannot stand this doggone cord. And we'll go ahead and take another red one on both cords. Okay, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to take 2 more of these through both cords. Nope, not the right one. Now, do you guys have a favorite activity that you like to do in the fall? Like, do you like going on hay rides, bonfires, maybe a nice walk in the forest, a nice picnic on a nice, cool day? It sounds so nice. I love that kind of stuff. I love bonfires and hay rides. I love all that. I think one of my favorite activities that I don't really do now, which, yeah, I guess I could. is going to haunted houses. I used to love going to haunted houses and haunted hayrides and haunted ships. I love all that. And I still love the spooky, you know, that's what I love about Halloween is the spookiness of it. So yeah, that's just some of my favorite things. But actually, you know, here in Florida, of course, we have Universal Studios that has, what is it, Fright, uh, Halloween Horror Nights. And then we have SeaWorld that has Hollow Scream. And then they have some haunted houses and stuff in there. So if you go to those, then there's haunted houses, which I did go to SeaWorld Hollow Scream a couple of years ago. And I would like to go again. Take 2 more of these. Actually, I'm going to take 1 more of the red ones. And then 1 of the brown. Okay. So this is what we have so far. I think that's looking really nice. Okay, now I'm going to take my blue flower and I'm going to string it through, or string both wires through. And I'm going to take that down to our beads. Then I'm going to take some of these. I made little charms. I went ahead and did that earlier. So I made little charms out of the glass bead mix. And I'm going to string these on top of that blue flower. So again, both cords are going to go through. I'm just going to keep stringing these down to the flower like that. I'm going to string some more. Okay, so this is how it's looking. It's cute. I'm going to do like 2 more. Actually, let me show you how I did it. So you just take your seed bead, you put it on your head pin, and I'm using my 1-step looper, and I'm going to take my bead up to the edge of the 1-step looper. Make sure it doesn't go inside this chamber or it will smash. And then you press your 1-step looper and then you pull your bead back slightly. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure this hole is totally closed before I put it on my wire. And we'll do 1 more. So put your bead on your head pin. Take your 1-step looper, bead it through the chamber to where your wire is coming out the other side. And then you want to take it just close to the edge, not over. And then go ahead and make your loop. Pull your bead down slightly. And then you need to close your loop all the way. Now I'm going to take 1 of my little brown beads and I'm just going to feed that through. Okay, so this is what we have. Actually, I'm going to take off some. I'm going to take off 2 of these. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. Okay. One of the barrel beads. Actually, I think I'm gonna put 2 of those. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and separate my cords again. And I'm going to go ahead and put 5 of my little brown beads on both sides. I'm going to put 5 on the other side. Okay, so both sides have 5. I'm going to remove my bead stopper. That's how it looks so far. It's really cute. All right, let's see how long this is first before we continue and put too many more beads. Okay, I put about a couple more. I'm going to put 1 of my red barrel beads and then 2 of these. And these are through both cords. Okay, this is what we have. Almost 6 inches, so we probably need a little bit more. Okay, so sorry, I thought I was recording, and I did go ahead and just put 1 of these red beads, and this is not the barrel beads because I think that'll be too big. So I just put, it's 1 from the glass bead mix. Okay, so that's what I put on there. It's really cute, really pretty. Okay, let's measure it now. It is almost 6.5 inches, so we could probably go ahead and stop because we do have to put our crimp tooth and our crimp cover and the clasp and all that, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Okay, so we don't need much space since we are using a clamshell cover. Okay, so I'm going to take this and put both cords through that little hole at the bottom. And then I'm going to take my crimp tube and feed it through both cords. And then I'm going to take my bent nose pliers and crimp my crimp tube. Just give it a good squeeze, really good. You see how it flattened it out? Sorry. See how it flattened that out? And then I'm going to give another squeeze. Okay, and it's tight. Let me go ahead and clip this off. I'm going to take it right down to your crimp tube. Okay. And then you could go ahead and close this up. Okay. And I'm going to move to the other side. And make sure you push everything down so it's nice and tight down here, but you want to make sure you have enough movement in your bracelet so that it can bend. Well, go ahead and try it around your wrist first before you put the other closure on. You want to make sure it's not too big or too small where you have to add some more beads. Actually, I think I'm going to have to take off. So I took that last red one off. So I think this should be good because you figure we're going to have 2 of these and then the jump ring and the toggle clasp. So that's going to add a good bit of length and you don't want it too big. See, this is how it fits me now. So I think if I go ahead and do this, then yeah, I think that'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this off because this wire is just so annoying. Remind me to never use this wire again. That's just too annoying. And that's just terrible because that's just a waste. Well, maybe I could find another kind of use for it. Just not for beading projects. Okay. Open this up. Okay, so I ended up putting this red bead back on. I don't know. I just don't want to I want to make sure, I don't want it to be too small since I'm not using an extension chain because I'm using the toggle clasp. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my crimp cover on first. I'm going to take that down to my bead. And then I'm taking my crimp tube, feeding it through both cords, or both cords are feeding into the crimp tube. And I'm going to take that to the top of my clamshell. Now make sure your bracelet, that it's all pushed down good. You don't want to see wire, but make sure that it does have movement. So make sure that it can bend. You don't want it to be so tight. Okay. And then I'm going to take my bent nose pliers and give this a good crimp, squish. And then I'm going to rotate it and give it a squish. Make sure it's good. Okay, and then you could check it. Check it and make sure that it's tight. It is tight. Cut a little bit more actually. Okay, and then we can close this up. Okay, and then I'm going to take my jump rings and I'm going to use this bronze color here to put on my toggle clasp. Okay, I'm going to take my bent nose pliers, open up your jump ring. I'm going to put on my clasp. And then I'm going to put that on the loops. Oops, then I'm going to put that on our loops here. See? On our closure. And then we're going to close this up. Make sure it's closed good. Okay, and now we're going to do the other side. Okay, I got it through both sides. Close that up. Now here is our bracelet. That is really pretty. What do you guys think? I'm going to try it on and see how it looks. Okay, so here it is. Really cute. What do you guys think? I like it. Really cute. Let's say it could be maybe a little smaller. Not really though, because if it was smaller, then it would be too hard to close. So yeah, I think it's good. It's really cute. I really like this one. Yeah, because when I put my arm down, it's good. It's in a good position. I love it. Let me know what you guys think. So here is our fall flower bracelet. And I really, really like this. I think it looks really good. And then our fall pumpkin bracelets are set. And I love these beads. I think this looks so beautiful because these beads are so pretty. What do you guys think? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make another one. So stay tuned. Okay, so for the next bracelet, we are going to make a memory wire, a single loop bracelet. Okay, so I'm going to use these beads, and then these came from Hobby Lobby, and I think they are a beautiful fall color. I mean, beautiful burgundy and orange and yellow, very pretty. And then also, I'm going to use these beads, as long as they fit on my memory wire. So these also came from Hobby Lobby. It was a strand of 3. And I just think these colors are very pretty. Same thing, very pretty fall. I mean, these have a beautiful purple, but yeah, it's green depending on how you look at them. Same thing with this. I mean, gold, and you see the burgundy and purplish. I mean, so pretty and beautiful fall colors. So I will use some of these. And then I will link all these items in my description box. And if I have a picture, I'm going to insert the picture of the full strand of these beads for you guys, so you know exactly how they came. But I had started a project another time, so that's why they're, already cut and used. So I can't actually show you, how they came. So, and then I'm going to use my gold memory wire and my flush cutters and round nose pliers, and also grab a pair of, also grab some head pins or eye pins. I have gold. So if you have just eye pins, that'll still work. That's to make some charms at the end. So what you want to do, which I already cut a piece of memory wire, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So you take your memory wire. So this is where it ends right here. So you want to overlap it. So where this ends, you want to go past that about a good inch or so, because you want to have enough room to be able to loop your ends too. So I say at least a good inch, maybe 2 inches, but that's all you want to go. We're not wrapping it, several times. It's just going to be the one loop. So I'm going to cut about right there. And I do have memory wire cutters, so I don't know why I'm using my flush cutters. I suggest if I suggest you use memory wire cutters, because the memory wire, I was told, can damage your flush cutters or your wire cutters, because I guess it is a stronger wire. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a bead stopper on one end. I'm not going to loop it yet. So I'm just going to take this right close to the edge, and basically allowing me enough room to make a loop. Okay, and that's so we can make it all even. So it's just like the video that I have with my stunning single memory wire bracelets that I had about a month ago. So we're doing basically that same technique. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a strand of my beads. Okay, so this is what I have. It's a pretty mix. Looks so pretty. Again, we have shimmer, sparkle. Okay, that one aside. So now we can go ahead and start putting the beads, and I'm using these beads first. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting on some of my other beads. I'm going to put on one of these gold, oh, why can't I think, seed bead. And this came on the bead strand with these beads here. I'm just going to put some of these beads on, and I think I'm going to put a spacer in between each one. I love this bead. That is so pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if these will work or not. Oh, maybe. Doesn't look right. We'll keep these to make a pair of earrings in another video. How about that? Because I really do like these. I think it is so sparkly and so pretty with the changing colors. I mean, beautiful fall colors. So we will definitely use these in another video. That looks pretty. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put these beads on. Let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 7. We still have a lot of wire left, so I'm going to scoot this side down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add some more. All right. Oh. All right, now I'm going to put a bead stopper on this side. Scoot this down, and then I'm going to take this bead stopper off and add 2 more beads to this side. See, that's why I don't like to make a loop at first. So that way we can get our center in the center. Okay, now we're going to put a bead stopper back on here. And then we'll take this one off. And this needs to go that way a little bit. See if we do one more. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and loop this side and then we'll just have to take one bead off of this side, right? Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to loop this side. And you can cut your wire a little bit because we don't need that much. And then take the round nose pliers. And then make your loop. Now I'm turning my loop out, but you can turn your loop down as well. Okay, make sure your loop is good and secure so your beads don't come off. All right, now let's do that side. So cut some of this wire. Okay, and it's good to have probably about a 1/2 inch of wire or a little less. It's really pretty. That is so pretty. I love it. And what I'm going to do is put a jump ring and a lobster clasp here so we can close that. Just since it doesn't overlap as well, I guess because these beads are bigger. And then I had to cut some extra memory wire off. Okay, I have 2 jump rings. So we're going to attach the lobster clasp to a jump ring so we can attach it to the end. And actually, we don't even need to attach. Yeah, we can attach it just like that and not have to use an extra jump ring because that will make it bigger if we did that. And you could bend your memory wire some. Be careful not to break your beads. So pretty though, isn't it? Okay, let's make some charms to go with this. I'm going to take a bead, and I'm using this one. I'm putting it on a head pin, a gold head pin, and make sure that your bead doesn't come out off the other side. And then I'm going to take my one-step looper and feed the wire back through that hole on the other side, and then take it just slightly, just right before the edge of the one-step looper. And then go ahead and make your loop, and then bend this back slightly. And there you have it. And I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to go ahead and close my loop. So here is our really pretty memory wire bangle bracelet. So beautiful, isn't it? I just love that. So fall inspired. And then also, if you needed to make this smaller than, this size, all you would have to do is put a jump ring wherever you needed it. See, I put a jump ring right here. So I put a larger jump ring. I just took it around the beads. And then that way you could take your clasp and hook it right there. See, so then you made your bracelet smaller. So say you needed it here. So just put your jump ring there to make your bracelet that size. So it's actually, pretty adjustable. But isn't that gorgeous? It's so pretty. Okay, beaders, so here is 3 of our 5 fabulous fall bracelets. I decided I'm going to go ahead and end this video now since it already is so long. And we are going to continue with the last 2. So that video will be out this Wednesday. So please look forward to that. And then also I'm going to have a segment with fabulous fall earrings and fabulous fall necklace. So stay tuned for all of those. But the last 2 fabulous fall bracelets will be out this Wednesday. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know which one is your favorite. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.